Good Sunday morning, everyone. Good morning, Indy. Yeah, I know. So, took Matt to the airport this morning. They are going to be on their way maybe about a half hour from now. At least boarding the plane probably. And then they are going down to Georgia to watch the National Championship, OSU and Notre Dame. That's happening on Monday. So, excitement, I guess. They will have a good time. It will be a lot of fun. In the Georgia Dome, is that what that place is called? So hopefully they won't need to layer on clothing because it's supposed to be inside. So the past week was a little weird. One of the reasons was Matt's work had people in to rewire things, so he was working from home. It's difficult to do these things when he's home because he's downstairs talking and on the computer. So everything I say goes down there. So because it's funneled, basically echo chamber down there. So it's hard to do those kind of things. And my grandfather, 91-year-old grandfather, 90, something around there, fell a week ago. And so Mom and I have been coordinating about going down to Florida to help get something set up for him. So he's been in the hospital for about a week. They diagnosed lower back problems, and he's going to have to go to a rehab for 2 weeks. And then after that, they'll discharge him and he'll be back home. So we kind of want to be down there when he gets discharged so we can get him in the house, figure out what he needs, and then have some home help come in because I think Medicare or Medicaid, one or the other will, whichever one it is, will help with 24 hours a week of in-home care. So something that we want to work with. And but yeah, he said he got up from his computer in the back room, turned around, and the next thing he knew, he blacked out. I guess he blacked out because the next thing he knew, he was on the floor. So I'm guessing he stood up maybe too quickly, got dizzy, and then blacked out, and then woke up on the floor. I don't know if it was 2 seconds. It could have been 2 seconds. It could have been 5 minutes. It's hard to say. So that's been going on, and we're trying to coordinate something to get down there because it's a long way away. So it's something you definitely have to plan for. It's hard to do that kind of stuff on the fly. We're trying to coordinate him getting out of the rehab. He was in the rehab facility once for about a day, and then they had to send him back to the hospital because he had pneumonia. And Mom asked the hospital, is it hospital pneumonia? Is that where he got the pneumonia from? Because he was in the hospital for several days and then was moved over to the facility. And the way viruses kind of work, it didn't just happen, So, of course, they're denying anything, but whatever. It's, there's not much you can do about it. He had pneumonia. He's feeling much better now. And hopefully the next day or two, they'll transfer him back to the facility so that he can get some rehabilitation. Because he's been off of his feet for, I'm sure, about a week, which is bad enough as it is. His mobility's terrible anyway, so. But he's 90 years old and he's continuing on. So he's keeping on chugging. So that's good, and then, of course, Aunt Kate, Matt's Aunt Kate, passed away a little over a week ago. We had that graveside funeral on Friday. It was a beautiful day for it, but it was still cold and it was still at a church. So your mileage will always vary with that kind of stuff depending on how you feel about whatnot. So, and it's been a minute. Oh, they made it through security. Hang on a second. The past couple of times going through security with his father has been interesting because it's just the little things that he forgets. He forgets to take everything out of his pocket. But anyway, so, oops, that was dumb. So, it was a beautiful service, as funerals go, I guess. But except for the fact that the pastor kept talking about OSU football. And you want to combine two things that I really don't want to be involved with. It's a funeral at a church and football. I tuned the hell out. It's like, and as the OSU Buckeyes will surely give us a win. I'm like, oh my God, no. Oh, it's just, and then, of course, everybody's standing around like, yeah, that's fine. Normal to talk about football at a funeral, right? What do you think, Box Cat? You don't look very impressed. Are you my audience today? You might be my audience today because it's Sunday. So there was that as well. And as far as funerals go, it was fine. She didn't want a funeral service. She said, for everybody's whatever, funerals are not for the dead. The funerals are for the living. For the remaining people, she's like, I'll at least have a graveside, whatever, but she's like, I don't want a service. So it's like, okay. And I'll tell you what, this is really, I don't really want to knock on, funerals for people up in that area, but in southeastern Ohio, afterwards, if you have like a wake or like food, set up for everybody, it's not cold cuts and Kroger buns and then cookies from the Kroger cookie department. If you've got an entire week before the funeral, they've got chicken and noodles. They've got every kind of pie they can make. They've got cookies that they've baked. They've got brownies that they've baked. They've got somebody's probably going to make a ham. So it is a thing down there in southeastern Ohio with a funeral of somebody that was popular or somebody that everybody loved, that kind of a thing. So yeah, but up there it was a very small church, and it's not like the entire town came out. Then again, it's a small church, so maybe the entire town came out. I don't know. But yeah, it was fine for a funeral. I never. Well, you know what? It's weird. I want to say I don't ever want to have a funeral, but at the same time, I'm like, why do I care? It doesn't matter. Whatever happens, it doesn't matter. Oh my gosh, put me in a bathtub and sail me out to sea, for crying out loud. Whatever, it doesn't matter at that point. Anyway, sorry, it's Sunday, so I guess we should be talking about that kind of stuff traditionally, right? Our own mortality and whatnot. So this is the salted caramel from Bones Coffee, the really tasty, wonderful smelling, delicious tasting caramel coffee. With a little bit of salt in it from Bones. Speaking of, one of the upsides to a funeral is that you get to see people. You get to see people you probably haven't seen for a little bit. So let it bloom for a second. So I got to see Adam, who I gave the coffee to at Christmas time, and he told me how good it was. He said, I've never had flavored coffee, he said, but that maple bacon was absolutely delicious. He did say it didn't last 3 pots. I guess that's the problem with, because it was a sample. So maybe I should have told him that. It's only a 4-ounce sample because normally you get 12 ounces. Oh, I should have told him that. Ooh, I'll have to remember that next time because I forgot that I got him a sample bag. But he's like, yeah, it didn't last 3 brews because he puts it in a coffee pot. He doesn't do this rigmarole. He does. He puts it in a coffee pot and has coffee throughout the day. So, which is probably what the point of this coffee is. I think for the most part, is to have a pot of it. It's not. I mean, it's specialty coffee, but it's not, it's not espresso Well, I mean, you could grind it into espresso. I don't know how it would taste as an espresso because, you know, there's a lot of concentration going on. So maybe someday if I ever get an espresso machine, that'll be something that'll happen. I don't know. But he said he loved that. He said the Colombian tasted really good. He really enjoyed that. So and then his wife, Jessica, got him Highland Grog from somewhere else. And he said that was really nice because it was like it's the caramel white chocolate kind of stuff. And he said that he really enjoyed that. So that's cool. So now we know what to get him for Christmas next year. I'll just get him I'll get him a big bag of the maple bacon next year. But I told him to go on the website and look at stuff. And if something looks tasty, just get it, you know. So we'll see. But I was very happy to hear that he enjoyed the coffee. So good news. Good news at a funeral. Whew. So that's been going on. And then, of course, Granddad also been going on, been trying to figure out, you know, if Mom keeps saying if he behaves himself and doesn't fall. And I'm like, does he really have that much control over that? You know, I mean, behaves himself and doesn't fall. It doesn't make any sense. You make it sound like his fall was his fault, but it really wasn't because he's 90 years old, and that's just, I think I want to say Pa lived to be like 81, 82, maybe 81 years old. So, and Grandpa's got a ticker that's like quadruple bypassed, you know? So, and that was 25, 30 years ago. He had a bypass done. Oh, wow. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a week, and yeah, it's basically my fault that I didn't do any coffees or anything like that. But it's like, you know, when he's home, it's, you know, it's a challenge, and I don't want to interrupt his work because, you know, he's the one doing all the work. I am not. So anyway, so. Yeah, so Bones coffee, salted caramel, delicious. We'll let it go for it was about a 40-second bloom, I think, so we can probably go till 4:30. So, and yeah, so Matt just said they got through the line at security. So hopefully that wasn't too much of an ordeal. I know I got him down to Dad's house at around 8:30-ish, and then they were leaving for the airport at 8:45, and he was already rushing when we opened up the garage door. It's like he was standing by his garage house door, and when the garage door opened, he immediately stepped out of the garage. And then he went to the back of my car, and I'm like, no, I'm not driving you guys unless something's changed. And Matt had to get out and be like, no, we're taking your car. So that was funny. He looked at me like, ugh, and I'm like, no, he's just this is what we've done every time we've gone to the airport all together. You know, I've driven down, we've gotten in the back of my car, and we've driven to the airport. So it's just autopilot. So it's not a big deal. So it's not like he opened up the back and then put the thing in the back of the car. So he was about to. I didn't open up the back because I knew what he was doing. But yes, and the reason for that, otherwise I would have taken them, but the reason for that is on Tuesday coming up, that's when our new washer is going to be delivered and the old one's going to be hauled away. So we don't know when that's going to happen. It could be between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. They're going to send a text message the day of. So it's like we don't know when it's going to happen. So if I were to have to go pick them up at like noon, 1 o'clock, and I get a text saying we're coming, you know, that's just not going to work out. So it's all right. Okay, here we go. So lots of excitement, and I gotta figure out how to get ready for a trip down to Florida. I foresaw it coming, you know, this year at the very least, that we would have to do something and go down there for one reason or another. And Not looking forward to that either. I don't know what the hell that's going to be. Mom knows, I assume, but I have no idea. It's just going to be just going to be a circus. Because then she's going to have to figure out what to do with the house, the land, just everything. It's just, ugh. I am not looking forward to my future. Let's just put it that way. So, because it's a difficult time for a lot of different reasons. But, it's just the way it is. Shouldn't complain about it too much. So yeah, so that was the last week, and I'm sorry that I didn't do a coffee, but I'll do one today and I'll do one tomorrow, and then we'll have a couple extra for this week. We'll do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So, given if they've got the wiring done, I would assume so. But him staying home that one day was a surprise on Wednesday. I'm like, what? Do you not work today? You day off? He said, no, they're doing stuff at the office. The IT department's rewiring things, so we have to work from home. I'm like, ooh, that's fun. Salted caramel. Very hot, but very tasty. I will say not as tasty as the maple bacon, but I am glad that he enjoyed that. It is definitely a really fun, tasty, delicious coffee to make and to smell and to drink. So anyway, thank you for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. And back to our regular schedule as far as I'm aware next week. We'll do an additional one tomorrow. So we'll have a couple. I'll have a couple this week, trying to make up for last week. So also I'll be doing some streaming tonight. Later in the evening. I won't start as early this time, probably around maybe 4 or 5 o'clock, and we'll go until I feel tired. That's fun. I don't have a schedule. I'm just winging it for the next 2.5 days. I do know we're out of milk. He was gracious enough to run us out of milk this morning, before he left. So I'm very, very happy about that. I got to go at least get milk and whatever else. I've got stuff to eat for dinner the next couple of nights, so I won't have to worry about that. Anyway, thank you for watching. On behalf of Indy, who's bathing in the tub right now, and Lady, who is downstairs waiting to bother me, I hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya. Bye.